Which subscriptions are actually worth it for authors? There are a lot of programs that authors pay for on a monthly or an annual subscription, but let's break down the ones that are actually valuable to authors and maybe some of the ones that you can skip. Now, we are doing a follow-up video on subscriptions that you can actually do yourself so that you do not have to pay for a lot of these things. That's going to be in our upcoming video, so hit the subscribe button and follow along for more. But when it comes to things that I pay for, and I do recommend that other people are paying for as a subscription, as an established author, there are a couple of things that I really like to lean into. The first is Lead Pages. Lead Pages is incredibly helpful because it's a drag and drop program that allows you to create web pages specifically as opt-in pages or sales pages, but you can also use this for your website if you want to or need to. So with Lead Pages, you are going to be able to create your sales pages for your book. So if you're doing direct sales on your website, so easy. If you have a newsletter, and as an author, that is kind of mandatory. It's really important that you have a newsletter. We have talked about that in a lot of other videos if you want to learn more about that. But this will allow you to check or to create your opt-in pages. So a really clearly well-designed opt-in page that links to your website, into your newsletters, and to all of these things, so that when people sign up for it, it goes directly into your newsletter email service provider, and then it goes into your email sequences and all of those things. It is really important to be creating your newsletter opt-in pages, your sales pages for your books. And again, you can use this for other things too, for giving away bonus content. I give away freebies through this. I am going to be able to design some really cool things to connect to my checkout cart to make my book sales. I can do so much with Lead Pages. Now, if you have a background in web design, you actually may not need Lead Pages specifically. If you can do your own website design like I can, you can create that on your own. But for most people, they don't have those skills or technology or the ability to do those things. So if you do not have the knowledge, Lead Pages is it. Now, I do teach you, I have a course on how to create your own author website. So you can do the same things if you want to take the time to learn it. Or you can just do these very easy, already created for you, drag and drop lead page versions of these. And I cannot say enough good things. I've recommended this to so many authors, and so many authors have jumped into it because it's so simplistic to use and it's so effective, and it connects to all these different things. And like I said, you can be creative in how you use it too. So not just the standard, here's what we help you to create, but you can do so much with it. If I didn't have the technical skills to do those things myself, I would still be paying for it, but I paid for that for a long time before I learned some skills that kind of took over that. Lead Page is going to be really important. Now, an email service provider is also going to be a valuable subscription. We have a lot of conversation in the publishing space about how much to pay for newsletters and all of these things. I've talked a lot about that. I have lessons here. I have courses. I have tons of free videos here and on my main channel. So I'm not going to get too deep into that because we've discussed it, but I will leave you on that particular thought with this recommendation. You as an author will be growing. If you start out on a freebie, if you start out on a platform that doesn't have any bells and whistles, that doesn't have the things you're going to grow into, it's going to be a lot more work and a lot more money to start on the freebies and the nothings and move to something that's going to be functional with you. If you're constantly trying to go from program to program as you level up, because you will, that's going to be so much more work, effort, stress, and money to do that. So I recommend to people to find the one that is going to be where you need to settle. So I recommend ConvertKit. That is definitely a little more pricey, but 100% worth it. And like I said, I've got lots of videos and tutorials and conversations about this, so I'm not going to get too deep into it in this particular video, but I recommend ConvertKit. There are other options. There are lesser options, and I don't recommend them. And I've switched away from them, and I have tried them for you. As an author, as a professional, I do recommend ConvertKit, even if you're a brand new beginner. But again, check out these other videos for more information on that. Now, another one that I really like is map making for authors. If you are an author who's ever going to have a map inside of your book, on your website, in your world portals, as printable content for like book signings and things, just to have on your table, map creation is really important, and you don't have to have art knowledge in order to do this. There's a program called Incarnate, which is very easy to use. It's drag and drop maps. They have different styles, they have different color schemes, and you can actually create the landscape. So the size of the country or the size of the city, or you can create even like rooms within things if you want to create like a building map, and you just drag and drop. So you can paint it on in different land colors and different things to make different shapes. You can do the entire thing as one thing. You can then take stamps, like I said, drag and drop stamps, and you can make it different sizes. So you can add buildings and bridges and bushes and trees and flowers and waterfalls and all sorts of really cool things to create the different style maps that you need. And that can be anything from a big, broad kingdom to a city, to a tiny town, to a building, to a very specific landscape. You can do really cool things inside of this, and then you can print them in your books, put them on your website. You can put them as individual like postcard maps. You can use them as marketing. You can use them in your book boxes. There's really cool opportunities for you to be using these maps inside of your business to save time and effort. You don't have to hire an artist to do this and just hope that they get it right, because you can do it yourself. So if you pay for it, then it's just it's very cheap. It's very accessible to people to create these maps. And then you have the ability to do them for all sorts of things as bonus content and extras inside of what you're doing. I like to hide things on my website. You know, I love having like extra bonuses people can go see outside of the books. I put QR codes in my books, all of those things so that people can experience really fun things to enhance the world that I am creating inside of my books. Now, another one that I really like as a subscription is Artbreeder, but there are some caveats to this. So Artbreeder is really great because it allows you to conceptualize your characters. You can create AI-generated art of your book characters, but these are only to be used on specific things. So as with all of these programs, you have to read the licensure and the terms of service with the programs. Not everything can be used for commercial use. The ones I'm talking about today have been cleared for commercial use, but we've also had the conversation on AI and AI-generated content in the context of our books. We have a whole playlist on the legal, ethical, and creative side of AI. So the brief overview, and check out the playlist because it's good, it's deep, and I bring a lawyer into it. So with this, you can be using them like on your website. You can create character art in this AI form, but you cannot use them on book covers. It will invalidate your copyright protection of your book. You cannot use them inside of your book. It'll invalidate the copyright of your book. Anything generated by AI cannot be covered by copyright protection. And as of right now, there's no legislature, and we talk about this in the episodes of The Lawyer, covering percentages. So like even if you put this in a book cover, even if you put this inside of your book, right now it invalidates the entire thing. It's not just, oh, well, that particular piece isn't covered by copyright protection. So what you need to take away from this is you can create amazing character art for you to look at while you're writing. So you know exactly what your characters look at. Like you can use this on your website so that your fans can see it, but there is no copyright protection. So anybody can go to your website, anybody can take that graphic, and they can do whatever they want with it. You have no protective elements over this. So you can create visuals for yourself. You can create visuals for your readers. And even if you manipulate things, so even if you've created this really cool character and then you go in and do some heavy photoshopping, still AI generated, still not qualifying for copyright protection, meaning anybody can do anything at any time with whatever, however, we talk about it in the playlist. So character art is really, really cool, but you cannot use it in the context of your actual book. Put it on your website. Feel free, put it on your website. Put it on, your social medias if you want to show things off, but be aware of what you can and what rights you do and do not have when it comes to this artwork. Watch through the playlist and drop your questions on that down below, because we want to make sure that we are getting you in a place where you can create really great things without invalidating your copyright protections. Then another one that we often talk about is things like Grammarly. So is Grammarly going to be a good subscription for you? This is actually going to go both ways. It depends on who you are as a writer. So if you are somebody who needs extra help, you are not really, really skilled at writing, you will probably need the subscription version of Grammarly. I love Grammarly. Grammarly works really well. I have found, because I am so highly trained, and because I've tested this out, I've tested it for many months on many different manuscripts, they have the free to everybody version, and then they have the premium version, which is extra suggestions, extra deep things. For me, they were all pretty much incorrect. They were weird suggestions that didn't make a lot of sense. They were trying to change some of my structural things that didn't work for what I was creating. So for me, 99% of the premium suggestions they gave me they weren't valid. I talked to my editors, I talked to other people. It just didn't make sense for the things that I was writing and the way that I was writing. But for some people, they are really, really helpful. So what I recommend you do is actually try the subscription version of Grammarly for a few months and go through and look at the free things that they give you, but then look at the premium things. Are you disagreeing with most of those premium things? And are your editors disagreeing with most of the premium suggestions? If so, don't get the premium version. If, however, it is helpful and you are making these changes, then it is worth it to pay for that subscription. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to if it works for you or if it is not working for you. And different authors are going to have different placements on this depending on your skill level of writing, the type of writing that you're doing, all of those things. So it is worth a test. And for some people, it's going to be very, very worth it. And for some people, it is not going to be worth it. So definitely look into that and figure out if that's going to be something that you want to spend a little more time and money investing into, or if you just want to go with the free version. Now, keep in mind, this is not the only thing that you can jump into, especially with something like your spell check. There are programs that you can pay a one-time fee for and have a lifetime license. Things like Vellum, things like Pro Writing Aid. You can pay for once and not have to pay for it again, but have access for your entire life. Some of those things will also invalidate some of those reoccurring subscriptions. So you want to be mindful and you want to pay attention to what is going to work best for you. For things like spell check, I actually have both Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid. I use the free version of Grammarly and I paid one-time version of Pro Writing Aid, and I use both of those, and they catch different things, and they help me to refine what I'm writing really, really well. So paying attention to what you can do as a one-time fee, paying attention to what you can do as a subscription, paying attention to what is not worth it as a subscription, and paying attention to what you can do on your own, what skills you can very easily learn on your own to make sure you're saving money and not having to pay a subscription because you can do things on your own is going to be really helpful. So like I said at the beginning of this video, the next video is about the things that you can do on your own, the skills that you can learn so that you do not have to constantly be investing money. Inside of the publishing industry, whether you are traditionally or indie published, you have to have skills. You have to be investing into your business, and you're investing either with your money or with your time and efforts, and sometimes with both. But if you don't want to put your money into it, you can put your time and effort into it. You can learn these skills and save yourself a lot of money to then make a lot of money. And we're going to be talking about that in an upcoming episode. So hit the subscribe and notification bell, follow along for more, and I'll see you in the upcoming episodes as we continue to help you navigate the world of publishing from your writing to your publishing to your marketing to make this your most profitable year ever with least amount of stress, overwhelm, and time commitment on your content creation.